Hey, what's up everybody, it's J-Rod. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about how to avoid getting scammed when booking through Airbnb. Now, to my surprise, there's still many people out here to this day that don't know what Airbnb is. It's been around for quite some time now, but I encounter people a lot and they always ask me like, hey, like, what do you do when you go travel? Like, do you stay in hotels? You know, like, what do you do? And I tell them, normally I either stay with friends or I go through Airbnb because I just personally like Airbnbs more than hotels. But basically, in short, what an Airbnb is, it's an app where homeowners list their homes for you to be able to stay in when you're going on vacation. So you can customize your searches using an array of different filters, and it even has a place where you to personalize your own budget. I did a video about this last year titled All Things Airbnb, so if you want to know how to use Airbnb, definitely go check out that video. I'll leave it up here, and it'll break down on how to use the app. But in today's video, we're more so going to be talking about how to avoid being scammed using Airbnb. Now, I have heard the horror stories and people have been telling me their bad experiences. Fortunately, I've never had a bad experience with Airbnb. And so in today's video, hopefully I can share with you the things I look for in terms of booking. And hopefully when planning your next vacation, you can avoid these red flags too. By the way, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. All right, let's go. Now, the first thing I do when booking an Airbnb, besides looking at the pictures, is I'll always read the reviews, okay? The reviews are gonna tell you so much about the host, and they're gonna tell you a lot about the place that you're trying to stay at. Now, one of the things I look for in the reviews is that if, of course, obviously, if they have a lot of bad reviews, then that should automatically tell you that this isn't a good place to stay at. But if they don't have enough reviews, let's just say like the list is very, very small, then I wouldn't really take my chances on something like that, simply because there hasn't been enough people staying in that location. And for me, I always like to test the waters with other people's experiences first before I decide to make my experience. So if the page doesn't really have that many reviews, I typically try to avoid those. Next thing you need to look out for is the dates on the reviews. If the dates on the reviews are old, then that makes me kind of speculate and wonder, why haven't people been staying at this listing recently? So anytime I see reviews and it's just a bunch of old dates, then I try to also stay away from those as well, because I want something that's up to date and I need something that's current. All right, so one more other thing you need to look out for is cancellations. So under the reviews, if you see a lot of cancellations, then that lets me know that either A, something's wrong with the host, or B, something is wrong with that listing. So I always try to avoid those because that just shows signs of red flags. Okay, something really, really important that you need to look out for, and a lot of people skip over this because they just simply don't notice, but fake reviews, okay? Sometimes hosts, they actually sit there and they will write their own fake reviews, believe it or not. And this typically happens on listings that don't have a lot of reviews because they want to have reviews on their listing to make their listing more appealing to people. So sometimes hosts will actually make their own fake reviews. So if you see reviews that are very vague, like nice house or cool stay, a lot of times those could be fake reviews. This one right here is going to get a lot of people, okay? But if it says brand new listing, if you see the word new on top of the listing, and do not do it, bro, okay? Now, these people could be very well the best hosts on the planet, and they could legit be genuine people who really do have a nice home for you to stay in. But with new listing, why do you want to take that risk if, like I said earlier, if you don't have enough people who've already stayed there to give their own experience and personal testimonies? Why would you want to stay there? Do not test the waters with new listing, because for one, we don't know enough about the host, and two, we don't know enough about the listing. So I would highly, highly recommend you to avoid going to listings that say brand new, because you just don't want to risk it. Many people do fall for this one because, like I said, it says new on it, and usually when something says new, that makes it more attractive or appealing. And in terms of avoiding scams, you don't really want to gamble with a place that you don't really know much about. All right, let's talk about pictures. Pictures are always worth 1,000 words until you get to that listing and it's not what you wanted, right? Photos can be tricky sometimes, and a good way to scam people on Airbnb, because photos can be deceiving, okay? Sometimes a host could use a photo that, let's say, is an older picture of the house, and you know, this could be from 10 years ago when the paint is brand new and everything looks fresh. And that typically happens. That actually happens at hotels a lot. You know, you see pictures of these nice hotels, and then when you get there, it just does not look like the picture, okay? So that's why I say you definitely need to go back and look at these reviews and making sure the reviews match to what the homes appear to be like in the pictures. I've even heard stories of hosts uploading photos that are not even real pictures of the home. Now, a cool trick I've learned to get around that is to use reverse Google image search, okay? I'm giving y'all all my little secrets, all right? So what you can do is you can go onto the house and you can download the photo to your computer. Then you will want to go into Google and do a reverse image search of that home. So literally when you click on images on Google, there'll be like a little search bar, and right next to the search bar, there'll be a place where you can actually upload photos, and Google will actually search that image. And this is how you can bust people and tell if they're faking about their location, especially on Instagram. Like, you have these people taking pictures in these exotic places, posting these mansions or whatever. You can just easily do a Google reverse image search. And if that person is lying, then you'll see that image pop up on other websites. So that's one thing I like to do with Airbnb is I like to do a reverse image search to make sure that I don't see this listing on any other websites. You can also do reverse Google image search on the profile of the host. So if you feel like the host is impersonating somebody or using somebody else's picture or whatever, then you can definitely do that, and that will be able to tell you if the person is who they say they are, if you see it pop up on Google on somebody else's page. All right, last point, and then I'm gonna give you a bonus one at the end. But avoid off-site transactions. Everything you do with Airbnb involving money needs to be directly through the Airbnb app. That way, if you have any problems, if you need refunds, or if there was a problem with your booking, Airbnb, they'll be able to handle that. Anytime you do something off-site, it can definitely be a scam. So if the host messages you and say, hey, we can do this booking off-site, a lot of times that could be a scam. They could try to tell you like, oh, I can get it for you at a lower rate. Because like mentioned before, using third parties to do your bookings outside the Airbnb's website, Airbnb will not be responsible if anything goes wrong. My last one, this is my bonus one, but if you're feeling a little bit sketchy about your host, then book with a super host. Usually what a super host is somebody who's been in good standing with Airbnb. They haven't had any problems. You know, they've been getting good ratings from people. And typically, I think if you book with a superhost, you do have to pay like a couple of more dollars, but it ensures you a better experience when booking an Airbnb because you're booking with somebody who's more credible than just a regular host. This is something that I actually recommend to my mom or even my female subscribers who feel a little bit skeptical about booking Airbnbs because for their safety. Definitely like booking with a superhost, you're more than likely to have a better experience. So this is just another alternative for you to decrease your chances of getting scammed. All right, guys, that's it for my tips on how to avoid being scammed when using Airbnb. Hopefully you all feel a little bit more comfortable now when choosing to book through them. Down below in the description box, I'm going to give you my discount code. So next time you choose to book through Airbnb, you can get a discount. I'm going to leave that down below. But overall, guys, I've been using Airbnb for years. I've never had a single bad experience, and I hope the same thing for you. I hope these tips are very useful when doing your next booking. Like I said, I prefer Airbnbs over hotels. I just feel like you get more for your money. It just gives you more of a home vibe and a different experience while on your vacations. But guys, I hope that this all helps. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. All right, catch me in my next video.